Welcome back, guys. Welcome to the after show, Eberron, episode 38. Oh.
Do we really want to talk about this right now? Because I don't know if I'm ready to talk about this right now.
What'd you think about that?
Oh,
dude,
my God.
Layers upon layers upon layers. That's all I have to say.
Before we even go into that, the excellent production skill of being able to just cut and everybody knows that it's happening without even having to communicate. Just boom, this is the excellent cliffhanger, and we all just went silent and paused and waited for. I'm like, that was just so good for everybody.
Well, yeah. I looked at the time. I go, that's it.
Yep.
There's
Perfect,
nothing.
yeah.
There's nothing we can do to wrap that up in time. So let's go.
Yeah.
We gotta wait.
Nothing's topping that.
Dude, let's just put it this way. The best remark was at 10:55 Pacific time, Shay just going, "Oh fuck," as we had cut. And that's kind of how my own heart felt given that last scene. I'm like, oh no, what's going on?
I'm sure it's fine.
I'm not. I'm glad you are, because I'm not.
I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure RoBear's going to be just fine and happy that he has a new big bad for the campaign.
Who is it got?
He's just like, yeah, it's mine now.
Wow.
I have a green god dragon, and I will use as much as I can.
Who would have thought we were not done with Kashar yet?
Can I raise my hand? Is it okay to raise my hand?
Yeah, right.
No, I mean the sacrifice. I mean, you're holding the ceremonial bowl of Kashar.
Yep.
It's
not even so.
It's dried with the blood from the lizard that you sacrificed to get here. Like, you're at the top of the Ziggirot. Those two Mindclaw shaman, the previous episode, drained that lizard literally into the Ziggy. You guys saw the process on the second floor before you were lowered down. And this being a ceremonial sacrificial Ziggirot to Kashar. And because you found the bowl, the altar that was there. And you picked it up. And you began to play.
With
the game began.
Gloves. He put clawed gloves on.
Did put clawed gloves on.
What more can he?
I did help with clawed gloves.
You did. You were a gracious DM.
Clawed
he still fucked it up.
Clawed is really cool and a magical item that now I'm like, it's gonna be a while before we get to Clawed.
Oh no!
I
love Claude though.
Yeah. What does that mean? Can you elaborate? Or is this? I have a feeling this is like, all right, Adam, let's talk this week. it's like I feel like that's coming.
You know what?
No.
I don't think you're gonna get to know.
No,
that's my money.
You don't.
I should know.
You're gonna find out when we find out.
All I know is that, and I've had this conversation that I told him free range, like, you know, this character is so unique in what I created that to me it's like I told him, like, if it's ever to that point and it's done, and I am okay with it because I've built this character specifically that way, to be okay with whatever the end is, and that is, you know, that is that. So
that's the point of his ascension. I mean, for you, for Umber, whatever his end may be, that is when he ascends to godhood. That's his final calling. So he's not afraid of death in any capacity at any point. He doesn't consider his and this is going to sound really shitty, and I'm sorry, Adam, but he doesn't consider who he's with. He doesn't consider what the situation is. When his time is up, he is just giving it up and ascending to godhood. It doesn't matter who is behind him or who is with him. He's just ascending.
Well, and that was the funny thing about earlier in the episode when you guys were kind of talking about it, like after I went to bed, and you know, you're going back and forth about like, oh, when he dies and, you know, this glorious or not glorious death or whatnot. And to me, like they're saying like, oh, you know, it was so good to see Recoil like reasoning like I've saved him multiple times and that wasn't glorious, and like he could have died but he didn't die, and the way that I view it and the way that Umber views it is that the time that I actually do die is the time I'm supposed to actually die, and if I haven't died yet and I've been brought back,
that wasn't it.
Then that wasn't it. That wasn't my time. And so it's this inevitable fate of like
unglory there because it
there
wasn't
isn't.
the moment.
Like
The moment
my
is
death,
glorious.
regardless, will be glorious. Whether I get stabbed and assassinated while I sleep, or I'm going out fighting a god or some other ancient creature. Like when I die, it will be glorious to me because that is my ascension.
It's a great juxtaposition because he only looks at it from a soldier's perspective that you know, you could die for nothing at any point in time. That's the sting of war for him, and the balance of becoming part of humanity weighs on him heavy in that, and doesn't understand that no matter what, you know, death is your punctuation note no matter how it comes.
Yep.
So where my brain's at though with this moment is that this could be the actual worst case scenario where it's not death, it is hostile takeover.
I mean, that's where I read. That's where I read was like,
and what is that
have fun
mean?
fighting me on some juiced up dragon. I don't know. Like that was my thought. Like,
well, but that takes away Umber's Ascension. You know, that
absolutely.
is right. That totally changes. And if that is the case, that opens up a whole new internal dialogue for Umber to go through. Because for what it sounds like, Umber is clear cut. You know, it's either alive or when I die, I'm dead and I'm ascending to my godhood. But what if there is now this additional option, which is where you don't get to do either, and you are stuck in this weird in between?
And he's spoken to that. Right. He's spoken to that previously. Like there is no shortcut. There is no like he can't stand undead. He can't stand lichdom.
Right.
You know, like
that's true.
These things that are tempting the natural fate of a person he's vehemently against. So like if this is a hostile takeover, like clearly, I mean, he doesn't have any control, but like vehemently against it, right? Because that's not the natural order. Yeah. But it's so interesting that I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen, but like from like Asher and like Umber and like my perspective on a situation like this is totally different, because like devastated with Asher and excited for Umber, and it's this weird thing because like it's just the mentality of how you build the character and how you role play it and how you reinforce that every single episode, where I'm like, I'm going to be sad if this is the end, I don't know, or whatever this may be, but also I embrace it because that's how the character is supposed to be, you know? It's weird.
I can totally understand why you're excited for Umber, because with Umber, even if it's a triple disadvantage roll to gain his self back on any point in this next coming, whatever it is, conflict, conversation, that Umber will 100% fully lean into it. It's his chance to fully ascend.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, he's got an option. At this point, he's got to understand that full ascension might not happen.
Help you speculate very much.
I know you
but
can't.
Why not?
I will.
Why? Why not?
I will say this
for Patreon.
We will be making you a new character sheet. 100%. We will making you a new character sheet this week.
You heard it here first, Patreon. This is why you join the Patreon, okay, guys? This is why you do it.
You will have a character sheet ready for whatever happens.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh.
You will have one ready.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's like I don't already. I've got like 80 characters on D&D Beyond.
We know which one.
Oh yeah, we
know which one this is.
We already know. We've already, you know, we already had that conversation. So that'll be it's fun in its own right. But this was crazy.
I sit back and I think, why on God's green earth did we not take that dream catcher with us?
Yeah, right.
It's the first thing I thought of when I was like, son of a fucking bitch.
Well, I just wanted it to have a good night's sleep, man.
Thank you for pulling me away from the fire and into the dream catcher, because I was ready to.
Fuck, I forgot about it too.
Nobody said this thing was fucking mobile. Okay, I thought it was attached to the goddamn tent.
And then RoBear was like, you know what? Have this little earth elemental. This will be a fun little sidekick. Just kidding.
It looks at you and goes, "You're in danger.
You're gonna die."
I don't want to fucking be on your hands anymore, man. I'm gonna fucking leave.
Hey, Mr. Dirt. Hey, Mr. Dirt, man.
You're gonna do what I tell you to, Claude, or else I'm going to pour water on you and turn you into puddle.
I've ascended. No, I mean, in what other way is that going to happen than a nat 1 from a nat 20? Like
Oh my god.
To me, that's the other thing, and I've talked to everyone here. I mean, and you know, you watch the channel and you know for a fact like how much we let dice tell the story.
Yeah.
And you know, we can tell a story and we can build things up, and through the RP and stuff, you know, like previously there was an avenue where Asher could come back in Baldur's Gate, right? And that happened because of what was laid out. But the dice still told a story there, and the dice are telling a pretty prolific story here. When you have them go nat 20 and me go nat 1, it's like there's very limited options. Like, I think this is going to be more on you guys than me, because I personally think next episode I'm just going to be chilling to wait and see what happens, because I mean, Umber, I mean, it's a nat 1 to a nat 20. Like, I mean, I'm out of it. You know what I mean?
This is all gonna probably be in Umber's head initially.
We don't know, and that's the great thing. We have to wait, just like everybody else.
It has physically affected the room.
That's true. It turned lights off and blood to your eyeballs.
By the way, the
Purge the
visual of
darkness.
that, by the way, the face with the half and half, and then the blood, and then going to me in the blood, and then plus my background with the blood of Vol and
Blood
all
of
that
Vol.
ties into everything. It's like, oh my god, just I'm eating this up with a spoon, you know?
So
like,
this went
so
from
good.
like, oh my God, here's this incredible item in this consecration in this ceremony we're going through with Umber, and then all of a sudden the script gets flipped into, I can't believe that I'm going to do this to one of my player characters.
Oh no.
And that's reward me for going full send and giving me all
Locking in my
kinds of
initial
cool
dice
things.
roll.
And like, you know, this other character I'm rolling is actually just going to be like my peon. I'm going to introduce them as like, their name's going to be Ruby, and it's going to be, you're just my little gem, okay? And you're going to come follow me.
Might have to pick another name.
Yeah, maybe.
Let's go
But-
Esmeralda.
I it's going to be very interesting that you're going to see some meta things from this that you would have never seen before, and your characters probably won't know it, and it'll be this piece that's in your head then that your character doesn't know, and it's not going to sit well with you. This is a literal nightmare scenario.
Campaign change.
Yeah, it's
Adam?
Alteration.
Adam, you're gonna have to send me your address sometime between this episode and next episode, so I can overnight you some high proof beer.
Yeah, I need to get some juice force stat.
need some juice force for this.
I DM'd Patrick and was like, hey, where do I find this? And he sent me the link and was like, get it, buddy. I was like, let's do it.
Get it.
I'll say this, since we're like, now we're at the spot, like, this thing is supposed to evolve in my head where it's going with this magic item is Umber's going to come down and do his work, and he's going to replace, it's going to turn into Umber's face in the altar, and it's going to be this blood of Vol, this, like, he's going to take over the altar and like change this spot and terraform, and we're gonna have go into this opposite, this very crazy godlike consecration of this area, and you're gonna have the opportunity to be like, if you don't want anybody to touch anything in here, you can stop everything. And it starts to affect the outcome of, well, now this is my area.
Yeah.
But now,
But
that's all
now,
gone.
Which would have been cool. Which would have been really
That all
cool.
sounded great,
Good, 'cause
man.
it
What a
would've-
cool plan.
That would have been amazing.
it would have been very interesting to see, because we would have buzzed anytime somebody comes back to tamper with it. Essentially, they're fucking with your temple,
Yep.
and it was going to be all this play back and forth.
Well, they may still be
and
fucking with your all's temple.
Technically, it's still my temple, just not my temple. I love it. I love it. This,
Oh man, so
what a
good.
crazy thing, and definitely gonna have to have some conversations this week, RoBear.
Yeah, we are.
Did Recoil and Oxy were still up top, right? Or did we?
No, we can.
No, I think I think you
Everybody
just kind of
came
like
down.
fast forward instead of
Yeah, okay,
everyone
that's
having to go down every single
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
It's just like, all right, you know what, everyone's here.
I was just
You know.
wanting to know. Yeah. Oh man. Oh man. Oh my God! 20-1.
It's me.
Before
Feisty,
that,
can I just reference the fact that you and I both threw back-to-back nat 20s at the very beginning of the episode?
Del
So-
Cor,
Yeah, you
man.
ruined it. You know what?
That's what
Just like
ruined
me
it.
and Recoil did, this wasn't my fault, okay? This was your guys' fault.
Oh, no,
I am not a weak man. You just
no,
eating too
no.
much bacon. All right. You know, honestly, if I wasn't so, if I didn't lose all my strength carrying you down that hole, I would have been fine to make that wisdom saving throw.
Come on, you're a god. You should have no problem carrying the little 165-pound fucking
I
bard
didn't.
down a hole.
Clearly, I didn't because I did it well, and you don't know that I rolled that bad.
Clearly you didn't. I mean, you were just blaming me for your downfall.
Hey, I jumped down that like a boss. And now I am the evil boss. So there's that.
Oh man. Oh man.
I enjoyed the campfire banter and
That
getting in everybody else's heads where they where they were at the moment. Enjoyed good cop bad cop with Garomesh and Oxy.
Oh, so good, dude.
Getting good pieces
you
of
know-
information.
little meta talk. I think Garomesh is definitely growing on Oxy, like as a, I don't know, as like a, not like a role model, but like you're the cool older brother, like not of him, but of like his buddies, and then they have an older brother. You're that.
Yeah.
You're that to Oxy. I feel like is what's building.
I noticed that when you started calling Garomesh Mesh, and
Yeah.
none of the rest of us have ever called him Mesh.
Yep.
You're like, hey Mesh, come on, let's go to the
Yeah,
tent.
I was like, that's new.
Yeah,
Mesh.
well, I mean, he did it a couple weeks ago. I'm like, none of us have ever called him Mesh. Mesh is not a nickname. Mesh is something you're giving him.
Yep. That's how they start. You never ask your own nickname. You always get given one.
You don't get called Maverick. You don't call yourself Maverick. Somebody else gives you that name as Maverick.
But I do feel like there is like a goal of Oxy, and maybe this is also of my goal, to start peeling back Garomesh's character
Yeah.
and all of their different pieces and just slowly chipping away at it, which is
Good luck.
maybe how you want
I've
it to
been-
be, or may
I've
not
been
be.
constantly at work on Garomesh since the very beginning.
Maybe that's everybody's plan.
It's a slow burn. Garomesh is the slow burn character.
Which is,
Oh,
I
they
mean,
certainly are, for sure.
38 slow burns.
Yeah,
As it should be. As it should be.
they're
38
so.
slow burns later.
I built them so multifaceted that like everything is so confusing.
Right.
Because everything is like has changed so much, and so it was like I didn't want to reveal that immediately within the first 5 episodes, and then it just kept going like that.
Oh, and we had those pieces, which is great that they found out that our backstories are connected to some
Yeah.
capacity, and there's more But we planned that out.
We can't lose that.
We planned that out forever ago.
That was
Like,
literally like when RoBear's like, "Hey, I got another campaign or whatever," and Adam texted me and he's like, "Hey, you want to do like shared backstories?" I was like, "Here's the rough idea of the story that I have," and he's like, "Dope, we got this."
yeah. And then we worked something out.
I was on vacation and like it was in Phoenix, and like I was sitting by the fucking this like pool / lazy river thing, and we're like on the phone talking. So I'm just like baking in the hot sun talking about a D&D character.
No, fun story. He's literally like, "Hey, look, I'm at this party with all these people, but honestly, I'd rather talk D&D." And he's like, "So what do you got?" And I can just hear I had like stuff in the background, and he's just like, "Yeah, man, that sounds great. Like, let's do this.
I had like
what about
2
this?"
drinks while we were fucking talking. Like,
I was like, "Are you sure I can let you go?" And he's like, "Nah, man, D&D trumps everything." I was like, my man. So, yeah. So I mean, I don't know. This has major
no, because we don't like we Oxy and Leightash and Recoil are aware that Umber and Garomesh have shit going on, but we don't know much more of that. And so if we lose Umber for that,
that campfire speech going into that's just fucking as prophetic as it gets.
Yeah. And we talked about it too. And anytime that I've brought anything up, because I know it's important for Tim and the pacing, right? And we've purposely done this slow, that when we were at the tavern, I asked him ahead of time, and I think I mentioned this, but I asked him, "Can I reveal your name?" Because I know his true name. And I was like, and I was like, "Can I do that, or do you want to wait?" Because you want to give some agents. I mean, it's his story, right? So I'm just helping amplify it. And he was like, "Totally, this makes sense." And then you instantly see this other half that's just like crossbow drawn. Like, how do you know that name? Like, and I think he doesn't even know what that name is at that moment, right? Like fully, or they don't. So it's so good.
It's confusing. Yeah, like they didn't. All they knew is like this is a name that's repeated in their dreams in every language on Eberron. Like that's what was revealed in that is like they wrote all of these languages down, even dead languages.
Yeah,
because they knew them.
Yeah,
they were called by this same name, different variations of the same name in every language on the world.
And the craziest thing about the entire thing that I can't wait to review. Oh wait.
You had me leaning in for a second. I was like, "Tell me more." Yes.
Yeah. If you thought it was a simple sit around and then go grab some item session, you got proven wrong by the dice.
Thanks, dice.
Now, one thing that you probably didn't pick up on was the bands I did linear. So when you rolled the 12, I gave you the farthest to the south.
We talked about that at break, actually. We did.
Okay. So that means there's the sound of a train to the north.
Yep.
Not where you thought it was. And I didn't want to bring it up inside there. It was something I would talk to you guys about meta, but on the band, I ran it from south north on it. So highest numbers were low, and then the lowest numbers were high.
That's where I started thinking, like, once you said, "Oh, I gotta look at this inverted," when you whispered or mumbled that, I was like, "Oh shit, I think I know.
Which brings up the question, since we were told the trains were not going through
that pass.
Right.
That pass, if they're still there, are they turning?
What is a train going on up there?
Yep.
And you could hear that there was a dinosaur riders, and there has been talk of a sacred area that's there that they don't like to go to.
Yep. And we're proximally-ish close to that.
Oh, and the sound and the modem sounds.
Yeah, that one threw me for a loop. I didn't know what to do about that piece of info. And I mean, I think that's just one of those pieces that you just hold on to until it clicks, you know.
Well, next week we'll all just go together.
Stop! Don't go there. Come on.
You will not want to miss next Tuesday. I can tell you that.
Oh man.
Appreciate you guys.
I think I have all day cleared out.
Oh, you won't want to miss it. Love you guys. Thanks for joining for the after show. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Goodbye.